For 6,000 years after the wheat was cut, the real work had barely begun. Cutting the grain was only the first step. Before a single loaf of bread could be made, before a single animal could be fed, that wheat had to be separated from its stalk and husk, a process called threshing. And for most of human history, threshing was done exactly the way it had been done since the dawn of agriculture, by hand. Picture a farm in rural England in the 1700s. The harvest is in. Sheaves of wheat are stacked in the barn waiting. Now the farmer and his sons pick up wooden tools called flails, 2 sticks joined by a leather strap, and begin beating the wheat, stalk by stalk, over and over for hours. The dust fills the air. The chaff sticks to sweat-soaked skin. The rhythm never stops, thud, 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 from before dawn until after dark. This wasn't a task that took an afternoon. For a mid-sized farm, threshing an entire harvest by hand could take the entire winter. Families worked through the cold months, barn doors shut against the weather, beating grain day after day just to have food and seed for the following year. It was some of the most repetitive, physically punishing labor in all of farming, and it produced only what a family could eat and sell in a single season. Then, in 1786, a Scottish engineer named Andrew Meikle built something that would change everything. Meikle's threshing machine used a rotating drum lined with beater bars, powered first by horses and later by steam engines, to do in minutes what took a person hours. Sheaves were fed into the machine, the drums spun rapidly, and the grain was knocked loose from the stalks automatically, separated, cleaned, and ready for storage, all in one continuous process. The impact was staggering. What once took a family an entire winter could now be done in a single day. Farms that had employed dozens of laborers just for threshing season suddenly needed only a handful of people to operate the machine. But the change wasn't universally welcomed. In the 1830s, the introduction of threshing machines across the English countryside sparked what became known as the Swing Riots, waves of unrest among agricultural workers who saw their livelihoods vanishing overnight. Farm laborers, faced with mass unemployment, destroyed threshing machines by the hundreds, burning barns and confronting landowners. It was one of the first times in history that a farming machine had triggered social upheaval on this scale. Despite the resistance, the technology couldn't be stopped. By the late 1800s, steam-powered threshing machines were standard across Europe and North America, often traveling from farm to farm as part of massive threshing crews, a communal event that brought neighboring families together for a day of shared, if exhausting, work. The threshing machine set the stage for everything that came after. Decades later, engineers would combine the reaping and threshing processes into a single machine, the combine harvester, finally uniting cutting and threshing into one seamless operation that a single person could run in a single pass through the field. But it all started with Andrew Meikle's drum and the simple radical idea that a machine could do in an hour what a family once did in a season. The winters of beating grain by candlelight are gone. What replaced them was born from one Scottish barn, and it changed the shape of farming forever.